Hey guys, G.A. Gallagher here. I said I was going to do a video on my stand-up sandblasting cabinet. It's going to be a real quick video. It's quite cold up here. But here it is. It's from Harbor Freight. I've done quite a few mods to it. I did put it together mainly the way the instructions stated. You'll notice when you go to put one together, there's a lot of foam on a lot of the panels. Take that foam off. You do not need it. And they're also supplying a roll of double-sided tape. Where the foam was, I used double-sided tape instead. I bolted everything together. The last things that I put on were the gloves and the glass. I once again mentioned you need a water separator, and that's what this is with my pressure regulator. And I do have air up here just to show you. So if we look inside, I put my hand in. We've got all kinds of air. Let me just turn this back down. I don't need it for what I'm going to be showing you. The biggest problem with this cabinet is the directions are completely wrong on how to assemble it. They want you to use this port as your vacuum port. That's wrong. That's your air intake. The port that you should be using for your vacuum, if I can get around here to show you, is on the back. And my 90's down, and I have what's called a dust deputy. It's very good because this allows, I'm not clogging up my little shop vac with all the dust and debris. It's actually going through this dust deputy that creates a cyclone and actually puts it in this pail. This shop vac I got from Harbor Freight. It's pretty little. It does the job, but I will be getting a bigger one. So a dust deputy, your vacuum is on the back, not the side. There's a lot of indentations in the walls. I covered them with tape. That way no media is getting caught in them. As you can see, I've added some extra some extra foam. Reason being that just gives a really good lock when I close it so no air can escape. I was getting a little sand escapage here, so I added some more padding to just make it a little tougher when I close the door. This is your typical port they give you for plumbing up your regulator and your air. Mine just wouldn't fit, so I actually just plugged that hole and drilled the new one and dropped it down a little. As you can see, I'm not using the hoses that it came with. They were kinking way too easy. I went and I bought some other hoses. These work much better. Are they perfect? No, not by any means. As you can see, there's my Halogen Light. That's a kit that I bought. And a lot of these mods I got from a man by the name of Mike Tacoma, from Tacoma Company. I have to give him a lot of the credit. He helped me out a lot. And I bought the light assembly from him. It also comes wired, so if I were to plug my shop vac in, when I flip my switch, my shop vac would automatically come on. But as you can see, it supplies plenty of light, and it works absolutely wonderful. It's halogen, creates a little heat, keeps everything nice and dry. Now, for this air intake on the left, as you can see, I added this box. I purchased this box from him for about 20 bucks, and it needed to be set at roughly a 45-degree angle, and it just bolts on, and that allows your air to come in towards the front of your cabinet. And with your vacuum on, you're sucking up through here, out into your dust collector, and out of your cabinet. This was actually open on the top. That's a no-no. It isn't going to work. So I actually took and formed a piece of metal, self-tapped it to it, tack welded it, and just run some silicone and sealant and tried to paint it up a little just to close that off. That needs to be closed off. There's other ways to do it, but mine works fine. So I got a nice vacuum. I've got a nice air intake. I've got a nice halogen light that produces heat. I've got my new hoses. If you use the gun that comes with this kit, they give you, I think, 3 or 4 nozzles. You need to use the biggest nozzle in the kit because it's a siphon kit. It doesn't work that well to begin with, so it needs all the help it can get. You can see my siphon and my pickup tube. You only put about 5 pounds of powder abrasive in at a time. You wouldn't just pour a whole bag of it in. That works very well for what it is. Sometimes you got to give the machine a shake or a tap to get it to flow down in. Another big mod is this cage. This cage used to set up on here. Well, I've cut this down based on dimensions that I got from Mike Tacoma. So it actually sits down inside, as you can see. And it's about 3.5, 4 inches lower. And that actually allows you to put in bigger pieces of material to sandblast. I just kind of welded the corners, put it all back together afterwards. Works great, comes out easy, no problems at all. The gloves people say aren't the best. Hey, they've been working for me. Until they stop working, I'll worry about it. As you can see, there's a protective film on this. They give you a few spare ones. I'm going to run with that, set up until it starts to get too hard to use. But the reason for the leaking is there's no vacuum. When this door is closed and it's pressured up, you should get a nice vacuum. And that's what Mike said. He said with a nice vacuum, this cabinet is not going to leak. And when you have a nice vacuum, if I had a stronger shot vac, you can see it with this one, but not as well. When you turn it on and everything's sealed up with a nice vacuum, my gloves actually want to inflate and stick out. And that's the reason for that. So it's creating a nice vacuum. I use a glass abrasive. I use 75 grit. It's like sandpaper. You don't want to use glass beads because glass beads are literally glass beads. May be good for finishing, but not for sandblasting. This stuff's real fine. It's a 75 grit. I purchased this from him when I bought the lights. I think I bought 25 pounds of it. I think it was, I don't remember the price. But it should last me quite a while. So far, I'm very happy. This is where the stock light unit would have gone. I just put the stock nut in, siliconed it, plugged up the holes. So that's cleaned up. Yeah, I mean, that's really all there is. It's just doing it correctly. Not doing it the way Harbor Freight says to. Do a little research, watch this video, do some of the mods I did, and it'll perform much better. Now, is it going to perform perfect? No. Mike Tacoma does sell another kit that is bottom fed that can actually turn this into a very, very nice sandblasting unit. And you know, this is doing what I wanted to do, so that may be something I'll do down the road, but for right now, I'm happy with what I have. So I wanted to share that. A Dust Deputy, gotta have it. That was $100. That was the deluxe version. Comes with the hose, the Cyclone, the 2 pails. It comes with everything. Just bolt it together. It's ready to rock and roll. A bigger shot vac would be nice, which I will get, but I'm surviving. I guess I really don't know what else to say. I know people have been asking about this and what I've done. And another point of leakage a lot of people have been having is down here at the base. This is where you'll get a lot of your leakage. I'm not going to open it because all my abrasive would fall out. But I actually took this out, bent it, So it's actually a tighter fit when you close it. And I've actually added extra foam on the inside so that when that presses up in and you close it, it's a much tighter seal. And I did actually add some polyurethane sealant. I didn't use silicone. Don't use silicone. Use Loctite polyurethane sealant or something like that. And I did seal those corners and edges. But the biggest thing was adding some more foam and making this so when you closed it, you had to really close it tight and it created a good seal. I get no leakage at all. What you do not need at all is this. This is supposed to lay in, and then you would lay your grate on top of it. It's just a spare piece of metal. Don't use it. Get rid of it. Just set it to the side like I did. So that's my setup of my sandblasting unit. Any questions, I will try to respond. I'm not the best at that, but I will try to respond. I hope a lot of the little things I did will make your experience much better. Like I said, I haven't had any issues since doing these mods. It works great for what I got to do. And if you see my HPI Baja powder coating video, I use this sandblaster to sandblast a lot of the parts, and it works absolutely perfect. And just to show you my powder coating setup, my oven, and you can see all my videos to that. So thanks a lot. Please rate and subscribe.